Hi everybody, my name is Ryan Wrobel. I'm an attorney here at Wrobel Co, Attorneys at Law in Belize City. This particular video, I wanted to speak a little bit about a conflict of interest, specifically as it relates to buyer representation or seller representation for that matter in a real estate transaction here in Belize. I hear a lot about closing offices, in-house attorneys, legal professionals within real estate agencies, brokerages that can close a deal faster, better, cheaper than a law office like Wrobel Co LLP. Quite often what's forgotten is about conflict of interest, and I wanted to speak a little bit about the conflict of interest that may be involved if you decide on using the wrong person, entity, office to assist with a real estate closing here in Belize. And as an intro to that, I'd say that dual agency paired with in-house legal processing is a textbook definition of conflict of interest. When a real estate agency acts as the broker, the escrow agent, as well as the closing officer, the checks and balances effectively vanish. To safeguard your interests here in Belize, I'm a bit biased, but I recommend that independent legal counsel is non-negotiable in Belize real estate. Typically, a real estate agent's goal is to close a deal, to locate a property if they're acting on behalf of a buyer, to sell a property, to market a property if they're the listing agent, market a property and sell it on behalf of the seller. Now, that's vastly different than a law firm's goal in a transaction like this. Our goal, an attorney's goal, is to protect the client. And in an in-house closing situation, if you have real estate agents or real estate brokerage houses that are closing your matter for you, the agency's primary incentive typically is commission. They get paid when a deal closes. If a title defect or an encumbrance pops up, like an undisclosed lien, then an in-house closing team may feel pressured to smooth it over to ensure payout. Certainly it goes without saying that there's a tremendous conflict of interest if a seller or a seller's listing agent is conducting a title search on behalf of the buyer. That's believing a seller, everything a seller tells you, and I would say that's certainly not the most prudent way to operate when pursuing real estate or the purchase of real property, not only here in Belize, but around the world, right? A law firm owes a fiduciary duty to its client. If we represent the seller, our job is to ensure that the seller is shielded from future litigation. If we represent the buyer in a real estate transaction, our job is to ensure that the buyer receives a good, solid, fee-simple title that is unassailable. That is what we do when we engage in a comprehensive title search and engage on behalf of a client, a buyer, to issue a title report. We don't get a commission. Lawyers don't get a commission on the sale price. So our advice remains objective. I often tell clients, the real situation here is after a title search that there is a problem, and I suggest that you look elsewhere, that this is not the property for you. It may not be the same advice you get from a listing agent that's also closing transactions in-house. They get paid when the deal closes. So there's a certain disincentive for them to tell you that everything is not hunky-dory, 100% and good to go moving forward. I would tell you that in-house closings with real estate agencies, it's an illusion. Real estate agencies often frame in-house closings as a convenient one-stop shop. Again, faster than attorneys, cheaper than attorneys. A law firm would frame this as systematic risk. I think that's pretty risky. Again, a very simple example. How can you rely on a seller or a seller's representative to provide you with a title report? Of course, they're going to tell you that there's good root of title. There's a disincentive for them to tell you anything but that. When a real estate agent or real estate agency provides and performs a title search and handles escrowed funds for both parties, there is no adversarial review of documents. When I'm representing a buyer, I'm looking at those documents with my client's best interest in mind. I want to make sure that they're not disadvantaged in any documents. I want to make sure that the land and the underlying title of that land is rock solid and that my client is not going to encounter any problems in the future. That is, in my opinion, the safest way to proceed. You have someone in your corner, buyer, potential buyer, that is a licensed attorney at law. The only person that would really is licensed and experienced enough to confirm good title and operate on behalf of the singular client. Closings are a legal process, not an administrative one. A law firm provides independent legal counsel. We treat the purchase and sale agreement as a binding legal instrument that requires rigorous scrutiny of terms, such as force majeure clauses, deposit forfeitures, and specific performance remedies that an agent might gloss over. Beyond buyer beware, due diligence should act as a legal shield. Real estate agents might perform a surface title search. If they represent both sides, then they may not investigate restricted covenants or zoning issues that could kill a deal. That's dangerous. Our office, Wrobel Co LLP, conducts exhaustive due diligence on the property and all parties involved. This includes verifying the chain of title back many years. Typically, the abstract of title goes back 30 years. Ensuring that all property taxes are cleared, and confirming that the seller has the legal capacity to convey the property title, fee simple title. This is legal protection you can rely on if the title is ever challenged in court. And in conclusion, in relation to this conflict of interest video, in a gray area market like Belize, and why do I call that gray market? Well, quite frankly, real estate agents, real estate brokers, and real estate agencies in Belize, at this point, 2026, are unlicensed. There is no oversight from our government. They operate according to their own wishes, without oversight. Again, we have some great real estate agents. We have some not so great real estate agents. And again, in a gray area market like Belize, transparency isn't just a courtesy, it's a requirement for a valid contract. A law firm ensures that the potential conflict is not just disclosed in fine print, but legally waived by both parties before they have received independent legal advice. This protects the seller from future claims of fraud or misrepresentation and ensures the buyer actually owns what they paid for and what has been conveyed or transferred into their name. If you have any questions, certainly you can give the office a call. You can send us an email. Thank you very much for watching. Take care.